This week's channel message from the angels is about the next opening. It explains where we've been these last several months, about the what we've been going through and how it's been affecting us, and it talks about this next opening as we are stepping into a period of greater chaos and the role that we are meant to play in it in terms of witnessing and processing that energy to help heal humanity and help us move into our ascension. So welcome back to the channel, you guys. And if your first time here, my name is Ann Tucker. I am a trance channel. I channel from the angelic realm, and that means I raise my awareness up as high as I can go, a little higher. I connect, and the messages come through, and I share them here with you guys on YouTube. And if you want to hear more, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. So if you are not in the mood for a heavy message today, I would suggest you pause this one and come back to it when you feel like you're in a good state of mind to hear it, because it is a heavier message, but a very important one about the role we are meant to play and about what's coming. All right, hope you enjoy the message. So I will just jump right in before I chicken out. I'm just kidding. I'm totally going to share it. I just, it's hard. That's all. And thank you guys for being here with me through it. I appreciate it. Estella's saying it's been a lot of stuff this week, hasn't it? Have you guys been noticing that this is a particularly crunchy time? Like, yes, we had the eclipses, and that was, some people soared through those eclipses like they were just like on cloud nine. So it depends on what sign you are and where it aspects you. But I know a lot of people are so going through stuff right now. It's been a period, and this is the truth. They have been opening us up and emptying us out. And the angels have been saying that over and over and over again in a bunch of different ways, opening us up and emptying us out and getting us into the space of, and they talk about that here in this message, the more and more into this space of allowing is what they're trying to get us. So, all right, so let's dig in. Here's what they say. They say, we have now a next second, another beginning. This stands in opposition to that which you are aware of. Be new in your regard. Be open in your thinking. This next stems from within. The meaning it brings is for yourself alone. It is happening in the opening through the lessons it provides. You will find it brings a sense of internal harmony. This lesson is the opening. So here's the first paragraph. So in this paragraph, they are talking about the next. That sounds like it's the next thing coming, but they mean this. They're talking about the period that we are in right now. And they call it the next because it's like the next way of being. So there's two nexts that they're talking about in this message. We are in the first next right now. And we have now a next second, another beginning. So beyond this one that we're in, there's going to be another, but we are in a next at the moment. And the one that we are in stands in opposition to that which you are aware of. So it's about shifting us away from what we expect. Is the period of time that we are in right now is about shaking us out of our complacency and getting us opening to being unsettled, to starting to open our expectations. That's what's happening right now. And this is happening in a bunch of different ways. So they say, be new in your regard, be open in your thinking. This is what they're trying to get us to. This next, the one that we're in right now, stems from within. So this is about our internal change, getting us into the right frame of mind. The meaning it brings is for yourself alone. So this has been very much a personal journey, very different for each of us. So whatever has been rattling your cage lately, and it can be happening in a bunch of different ways. There are people who are going through marital stuff, people who are going through job stuff, people are going through family conflict. Like whatever it is, it's shaking us open and putting in us a space where we have to look at ourselves. And it is for ourselves. So this is part of the personal journey of coming to the space of opening. And she was saying that eclipse was intense for resurfacing my mother wound. LOL. Yeah, right. It's for each of us. It has been very, very different. You're saying hi from Mexico. It's Rebecca. Hey. Fantastic. She's down in Mexico. So hi, you guys. That sounds great. I want to be in Mexico with you. So okay. So this is this period. Okay. So you will find it brings a sense. So it's for yourself alone. It is happening in the opening through the lesson it provides. So this is really what this whole period has been about. You will find it brings a sense of internal harmony. This lesson is the opening. And so even think about, like a lot of you have been asking, like the last message that we got about, or there was a message a couple weeks ago we got about there's something intense that's coming. And a lot of you said, wow, was it this school shooting that we just experienced that just felt like it just ripped a lot of us open? It was so Just horrible to think of, so horrible to think of. And the way that the angels talked about this next event in their message, it sure sounded like what that felt like. It sounded like an event that none of us feel equipped for processing, that we do not know how to process it. And so that is, again, part of this process of opening us, of rattling away our expectations and creating in the world, really, it's an opportunity to confront and open ourselves where we can't sit on our laurels or can't sit in a place of comfort. I love that the angels in the past have said that comfort, that our desire to seek comfort is the plague of humanity, right? They really want us to be in a place of being open, this whole open thinking. So this is where we've been, and we've been going through it in a bunch of different ways. And Carrie's saying, yes, a lot coming up for me. Yeah, rattling our cage is an understatement. You're saying, yeah, for real. It's been a very rough time. But we're still here, right? We're still going through, we're still ourselves, and we come to the other side of it. And there's a new, I guess there's a new sort of grounding that comes in. So here's what they go on to say. So this is the point of it. The point of this passage we've been through has been all these things, is that we're coming to the space of internal harmony. It changes yourself thoroughly. It is a shift in your allowing. Your nature becomes less rigid, more easy, more accepting. This is passing now. You are sensing this as a burgeoning feeling within, a sensory feeling we provide to ensure you are ready. So, like I said, personal journey, but this is why we are going through all this stuff that you specifically are going through. Going to be very different for each of us, but it is to get us to the space of being less rigid, more easy, more accepting. This passing is now. They say you are sensing this as a burgeoning feeling within, a sensing feeling we are providing to ensure you are ready. So just so you know, that sense of when you step into a slightly higher frequency, when you release what you expected and you allow yourself to be shaken in this way, it is not a super comfortable place. So what you might be feeling is unsettled. Like, where am I? What am I sitting on? What is supporting me? What's behind me, right? The things I counted on aren't there. It's an unsettled feeling. But recognize in that is an opening, and they're trying to get us comfortable in that space. And comfortable, I guess I just said they don't want us to be comfortable, but they're trying to get us to understand that space is safe. That the space of allowing, of being in more of a state of flow and not being tied to what we knew is okay to be in. So that's where they're trying to get us. And just to go back for a moment to what I was saying about the shooting that we just had and the last message, or that message a couple weeks ago where the angels were saying we're expecting something coming, that I believe the angels more and more, when they're telling us about stuff, it's an energy that's happening, that it's an energy, and it comes out in multiple places in many different ways. So was that the event that they were talking about? I think that's the energy that they're talking about. It may not be the full event, and the full event may be what's coming in this message. But I believe that was an expression of the energy that the angels are speaking about. So it's sort of like when they talked about the processing of payments and how that was going to be blocked. That may come up in multiple places. It happened in Russia. It may happen in the US. When they talked about truck drivers abandoning their routes, it happened in the UK. It happened in Australia. It happened in Canada, right? It's an energy, and then it gets expressed in different ways in different places. So I think this energy of feeling like it's an event that we don't know how to process, that we have no template for, is how they described it. That it's person against person. It's a human inflicted event. That it could be coming up in multiple places. So just to be mentally prepared for that. And again, it's part of this opening and riding the wave. And not in any way to say that the angels would condone that happening. I don't think they are as much in charge of they're not as much in charge of how we as humans utilize these energies. They come to the planet, they are for our greatest benefit, but sometimes we as humans express them in really negative ways. Okay, going on. And you're saying perhaps we're not meant to process certain events, i.e. school shootings. We need to lift the energy up so they don't occur. And that is the end goal, definitely. But with all healing, the way out is through. That we cannot deny that this kind of rage exists on the earth. And we have to get through it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to see it. We have to process it. And that's part of what we're doing, is we're processing it. We're seeing it. We're acknowledging it. And only through acknowledging it can we let it go. So it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. All right, moving on. And you're saying, I've been shaken out of the idea of what security and comfort of what home is, being flexible to movement without much warning. That is beautiful, Carrie. And that is where they're trying to get us. That is fantastic. Yeah. All right. They say, next paragraph, this next opening you are in, it harkens the beginning of many things. Next to arrive transpires readily. It shakes to the core all it will reach. It is a sensation to be not ignored. It will hearken the pieces breaking free, a next beginning, a freeing of the pieces of each country. There is isolation now in the mix, and it becomes embroiled in this tragedy. So this is now the next. So we are in a next right now, which is the next way of being. We're next, like this experience of our internal opening up, trying to get us ready, trying to get us into a space of harmony internally, where we are releasing and letting go of our expectations. And the next, this new thing, they're saying this next opening you're in, it harkens the beginning of many things. So there's a lot on the horizon, a lot of change is coming. They're saying next to arrive transpires readily. So this is coming soon. A lot of different types of events coming. They say it shakes to the core all that will reach. So it is that energy they talked about a couple messages ago, which is that like we have no template to process this. It is not something that is in human experience. It's not something we can point to and say, oh, this is just like what happened 5 years ago. It's none of that. It's going to be like, what the heck do we do with this? It is a sensation to not be ignored. So the point is not to ignore it. The point is to witness it, to process it, right? They're asking us to be present and to let it move through us and beyond us. They're not saying we have to hold on to it, but they want us to let it, to be the observer, to be the witness, to feel the feelings and let them go so that they can be witnessed, so that they can be released. It is our attention, our focus, and our presence that does the healing. So that's why it's so critical that we're in this state of internal harmony, that we're in a place where we can witness and not completely lose ourselves in it, right? That's why it's so essential. Like light workers, like here is what we're here to do, right? Witness and perceive and heal through your awareness, through your presence, and through your willingness to acknowledge and process, right? And it's so not easy. Like those of you who have been triggered when you have to see your own junk, it's not easy. When we have to see the junk of humanity, it is not easy. Yeah. Okay. So we go on to say, to look through this paragraph, it shakes to the core all it will reach. It is a sensation to be not ignored. It will hearken the pieces breaking free. This is interesting. A next beginning, a freeing of the pieces of each country. So this whole thing has been talking about unity and harmony and how do we become one with all things? And how do we get to a place where we're one with all things when we are separated into camps? When we say, I'm in one camp and you're in another, right? I'm in one country and here's our border and you can't cross it. How do we have unity when we are in that space of divide and conquer? And so they're saying that this place that we're coming up to is when those sorts of boundaries are challenged. So a freeing of the pieces of each country. So countries' boundaries changing, right? This idea of which camp are you in becomes much more fluid. There's isolation now in the mix. So there's isolationism where countries are pulling into themselves and saying, nope, don't come to my country, right? We're saying that this is one camp and you're in another camp. That isolation now in the mix, and it becomes embroiled in this tragedy. So this is about issues going on between, I see this, I understand this because they specifically mention countries. I see this as, so right now we are currently in this situation with Ukraine and Russia. There are tensions broiling right now and have been for a long time between China and Taiwan. That could become a thing. So, and you're saying, Donna's saying, witness with non-attachment. Oh, yeah, I know it is very hard. It's very hard to do and to feel the feelings, but recognize that's why we're here. Like recognize, if not you, then who? Like who is better prepared than you guys to do that, right? And that's why it's so needed. So Estelle was saying, I've had that coming up so much lately. The witness, the observer. I do feel like I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. Right? It's almost like we've been through boot camp. We've been through training, trying to learn to be the observer of our own life, try to be the observer of the trauma that we've experienced and to let it move through us and to release it. And now we're being asked to do the same for Earth and for humanity. And it's not easy. And it's a very big ask, but it's so important, right? For the healing. All right, next paragraph, they say, no longer can they stand opposed and breath depart so easily. None can find the road to their own salvation this easily. They must engage and lift the curse of separate devils. They have each a purpose to unfold, a semblance of one another, and yet a difference remains. So they're talking about different countries, and they're saying no longer can these countries stand opposed. So can they say, I'm me and you're you, and we're separate and we're not shared, we're not unified in any way. We're not looking at the greater belonging of humanity. They're saying they can't stand opposed and breathe as easily. They say that none can find the road to their own salvation with this kind of separation, that we have to get to a place of unity, because the goal we're trying to get to is where we see the unity of all things, that we are part of all things. We have this oneness. So we can't say, well, I'm going to get mine while the getting's good and you guys can all be without, and that's okay because you're not part of my country. Like that's not gonna work in the future. Like that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to a space where we recognize that what happens to you happens to me, and we take accountability for everyone. And not that we have to live everybody else's journey, because we each pick our course of action. We pick our course of life, but we do have to process life as though we are one with all things, and to see everyone's journey as connected and related. Okay. Then, so none can find a road, that they must engage and lift the curse of separate devils. So it is as though they're as two countries are fighting, it is as though they are listening to different voices that are pulling them into conflict, right? That they have to list the curse of separate devils. What is it that's making people opposed to one another? They each have a purpose to unfold, a semblance to one another, and yet a difference remains. So they may be, like, for example, with China and Taiwan, or with Russia and Ukraine. There are Russian soldiers that are coming into Ukraine and are wondering, why am I here fighting that, my sister married this person's brother, and you know what I mean, or whatever. It's like it's their family, and yet they're fighting, right? They have a semblance to one another. They're very like each other. China and Taiwan, they were one and now they're separate, and it's like that idea, a difference yet remains. They cannot find commonality. So this is part of the conflict that we have to go through. All right, you're saying that what I was witnessing in the dreams were unfathomable. I was told I am in my dreams. Oh, Carrie, I think you mentioned that before, that you were told in your dreams that you are the observer. Yeah, wow, that is amazing, because that is exactly what we're being told here as well. Estelle says, me too. You're getting the same message. Wow. Okay. All right, next paragraph. This next happening you are upon opens the earth and its captives completely. It changes all things. The juxtaposition of now breaks from then. It separates the trajectory and leaves you departed from peace. Hear us in speaking. We are not worrying. This does not leave you off the portal of your awakening. It hearkens further turmoil. This will come. It is necessary, but in the end you breathe. So the angels never want to create fear. They never want to make us worry. So they're telling us here, as they're giving us this information, they're saying they are not worried. So to break down that paragraph, they say, this next happening you are upon, so this next thing that's coming, opens the earth and its captives completely. So this is it. The gloves are off. Like, we are entering into the hot moments of this process. They say it changes all things. So from this point on, it's really like everybody says, can you go back from COVID and look at it and go back to there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, we want to return to the way that it was. People aren't going to be thinking that after this. It's going to be like, yeah, we're different. Things are different now. So the juxtaposition of now breaks from then. So they're saying this is really a turning point that we're going through. It separates the trajectory. So this is really, there's no going back, and leaves you departed from peace. So that's it. We're entering into a place of war. Hear us in speaking. We are not worrying. And when they say departed from peace, is that internal peace? Is that external peace? I believe, because of what they said earlier, that they are talking, because of this talk about countries, I believe they're talking about war. Hear us in speaking. We are not worrying. So they are telling us they are not worried. This is all part of a process. It's something we have to get through. This does not leave you off the portal of your awakening. So by going down this path, by having this happen, it's not like we missed a boat. I know that there are people out there who think that if this happens, that we've missed, like there's different timelines. And if this happens, that means that we missed a timeline. They're saying that did not happen. It's not like we missed a timeline. You're not on the wrong boat. If you are here and bad stuff happens, it doesn't mean that you missed your elevation. That's not what happened. They're saying this is part of the process. You guys know that there's no free ticket in healing. That's called spiritual bypassing, right? If you get to a place where you just get to walk away and your healing is magically resolved and we achieve this higher consciousness and we didn't process all the stuff that was in us, that isn't how we grow. And the whole reason we come to earth is because we do have to confront ourselves, and humanity has to confront itself. And we are here to witness and to help with the healing by being that portal of healing, by allowing ourselves to feel the feelings and let them move through our bodies. So it's a process. It's just like all healing. All healing is a process. And you guys know this better than anybody. Yeah. And you're saying, feeling Gaia groaning with this message. I know. I was like, yeah, you're so right. You're saying, yikes, and yay. It's true, because it is. At the end, they say it is necessary, but in the end, you breathe. Like, we will get through this. So, and you guys know the amazing things they've told us that are on the other side. And the best thing about going through hard stuff, if we do this in the right state of mind, which is in the idea of allowing it, to not resisting it, not rising up against it, not fighting it, letting it move through us and releasing it, acknowledging what was wrong, like acknowledging the places where we had difficult stuff, right? And letting it move through it. And then that is healing. And then it means that we don't have it anymore and humanity is better and we can rise, right? So we breathe. They go on to say, next paragraph, it feels the same in some means. Some situations will alter little, but you all feel the pain of earth as she transposes her fury upon yourselves, and your endeavors reflect that ancient being. You will find this time overwhelming. Remain still in process the same. Let it pass through your awareness. Let it field and retreat. So they're saying that they said before that not everything happens everywhere. The earth is a very big place. And just like if you are a human body and you have an outbreak of a rash or a sickness, it doesn't affect every single system in your body. Like if you have a rash or an outbreak, it doesn't happen usually not on all parts of your body, right? Or if you have, a respiratory infection, it doesn't also affect your joints, right? Like we are, and the earth is like that. So the earth is going to be having a expulsion, but it's not going to be felt or experienced the same way everywhere. So there could be some parts of the earth that all this is happening and they're like, well, it's kind of normal-ish here, like things are somewhat the same. So they're saying that's possible. There could be parts of the world where it still feels kind of the same. But they're saying that some situations will alter little, but you all feel the pain of earth. So the awareness of it and the pain of this experience is universally felt. Just like those of us who are aware of what happened with the school shootings, you may not live there, but you sure felt it. So they're saying that, and I love this part. They're saying that the pain of earth, you all feel the pain of earth as she transposes her fury upon yourselves, and your endeavors reflect that ancient being. And this is speaking to the fact that we are part of earth, that we are like the neurons on the face of earth, and we are her thoughts. We are her feelings, right? So she transposes her fury upon us. So we are experiencing it because we are part of her. And her endeavors are, your endeavors, what we're doing reflect that ancient being. So it's not like we are just, visiting on earth. We are tied to earth and we reflect her. We are part of her as humans. So they say that we are in the process of living and experiencing this. We are helping her heal. You will find this time overwhelming. Remain still in the process, the same. So remain, this whole idea of trying to be in your own internal harmony, this harmony we've been working to build. We've been working to live through upset and to see ourselves as things are challenged, and we are going through our own internal chaos to find harmony inside that chaos. So they say they remain still in the process. The same, let it pass through your awareness. Let it field. So in other words, let it come into total awareness, become aware of it, let it field, and then retreat through your body. So this is an allow and release. Sort of like a wave. It comes in, you experience it, and then you let it move on. Going on the next paragraph, you will feel in this time a darkness coming. Soon all remains still, and the peace enfolds you once again. You must remain. Be as you are and grow through this opportunity to feel all ways, to let rise and fall the lives you've built and see where your opening is, to find yourselves anew and new ways to breathe the air with justification. I am here. I am still here. I remain. I am calm and distinct from chaos. I am pure thought and feeling embraced. So this is a very interesting paragraph. I think this is speaking to, maybe a year ago or a little more, a year or two ago, the angels talked about a period of darkness that was coming, 3 days. I think they said a period of darkness. I think they said 3 days. But they talked about no technology, no communications. It was a period of darkness is coming. And this is, I think, what they're talking about here. So it sounds like we're going through this period of chaos, and then there's a period of darkness where everything, like all the communications, everything shuts down. And it sounds like that changes things. That it is like that's the end of this purge, that we're going through this purge of violence and period of chaos. And then during that, you may be tuning into the experience of a darkness coming. You may start tuning into that. You may have dreams about it. You may feel it in your body, depending on how you get your information, how you tune in and are guided. So you might feel this period of darkness coming. I don't know how long, I don't know how many years, but how long this is going to be going through, but this is where this is sort of where we're this next. And then beyond that, this period of darkness coming soon. And they say all remains still. So imagine chaos and then all of a sudden, hush, quiet, stillness, no communication, no nothing, right? And the peace enfolds you once again. So this experience of going through the chaos and then this period of darkness gets us to a place where we can find that internal harmony that we're trying to find. We can find it externally, where we start to find we are in peace. So whatever it is, it brings us to a place where humanity finds peace within itself. So this is huge, right? You must remain, be as you are, and grow through this opportunity to feel all ways. And that's not feel always, that's feel all ways. So this opportunity to feel all different things. And they call it an opportunity because having emotions is a distinctly human experience, and being here on earth is an opportunity to have those emotional experiences. So they want us to grow through that, to let ourselves, this is always about your journey, always, right? It's always about our own experience and the ways that we are using what we're going through to grow. So, and you guys have heard from so many different people that it was a huge privilege. It is a huge privilege to be here right now because we will be feeling all ways, right? We will be having an incredible experience of highs and lows and chaos and peace. And it is a distinct opportunity to confront ourselves, to learn about ourselves, and to grow through this. So they're saying, grow through this. You must remain. So they really want us to learn this lesson, to be in this peace, to try to hold this center through the chaos, to remain. So they say, you must remain. By that, they mean be present. You must remain, be present, right? Be as you are. So be still in yourself and grow through this opportunity to feel all ways. Let rise and fall the lives you've built and see where your opening is. So don't be attached to things. Let go what goes and recognize there is opening here. There is opening for all of us. To find yourselves anew and new ways to breathe the air with justification. I am still here. I remain, right? This is about us holding that stillness. I am calm and distinct from chaos. Huge line. I am calm and distinct from chaos. How do we not get sucked in, right? I am pure thought and feeling embraced. So it's not about leaving. And that's what so many of us have learned to do, especially us empaths. It gets scary and we're like, I'm out of here, right? And we're like processing it from this really objective place where we're not embodied. They're saying, do what you can to stay embodied and feel it, and then let it move through you. So feel it without attaching story, without attaching right and wrong. Just process it. Just feel the feeling, and then make it not be necessarily, if you resonate, if there's something in your own journey that has to do with it, great, let that resonate, but then don't judge it and let it move through you, right? And you're saying, okay, sorry, I know you guys had some great comments here, and I've been chatting, I've been reading. You're saying, holy, the flash, volcanic activity in Yellowstone is amping up, breathing in and out, love and light. There's a lot of volcanic. So as we get more and more solar activity, we're getting more and more volcanic activity. You guys know they talked about an earth rift. In the past, they specified the Indian Ocean as an origin point for that earth rift. So we'll see what happens with that. That was quite a while ago. Things change. And these are all energies. These are just energies that have to come out somewhere on the earth. You're saying this resonates. On May 12th, I had a dream. I was shot at a school shooting. Oh, especially now. I felt off the whole day and even cried for my death, but sent love to the shooter anyways. Wow. And she says, got any info on that? Estelle says, there's an interesting website from Zetas if it resonates with anyone. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Estelle. So, okay, so that is what they are saying. So then it goes on a little bit still. So the period of darkness, and then peace enfolds you once again. So I think that is the super important passage right there. Next paragraph, and this is the last paragraph, they say, allow this passage and you will remain. Be steady in fearless, or stay steady in fearless answer. All will change and yet nothing. You are the same, but lighter. Your feeling is consequential. Allow this refrain. Be in the state of peace internal despite all that passes. You are heralding the next flame of humanity through your reaction by bridging this gap and opening. To be one with all things, you must open yourselves to each other. And this is the means. And that right there, as clear as day, they are saying why. Like, why is this happening? Why do we have to go through this? Why does humanity have to go through so much what we perceive as darkness? It's because we are that darkness, right? This is all inside of us. All the junk and hardship we are going through is not something that's happening to us. It is of us. And we are just now seeing it. We're letting it rise. So we may look at that and be so sad and so upset that it's happening. But it's like, know that this isn't something that was just manufactured out of thin air. It came from us. It's been in us all this time. And we need to get it out, right? They say, allow this passage and you will remain. You will be present, right? Be present in it. Stay steady. I love this. Stay steady in fearless answer. So it's like, boy, that right there, stay steady in fearless answer. What do you do when chaos calls you? You stay steady in fearless answer. You stay and you witness it, right? Without fear. All will change and yet nothing. So nothing about you, like you are still present, right? You are still receiving this, perceiving it. You are the same, but lighter. Your feeling is consequential. Allow this refrain. Allow it as a processing, a healing, a great healing for humanity and for us who are supposed to be feeling all things through this. All things. What does that mean? All of your junk, all of your karma, feeling all things, releasing all karma. Huge, huge opportunity in this. Let it trigger you, but stay present, right? And then let it move through you, which is why I think this whole conversation about self-healing we have to have. I think it's going to be so useful. We will figure that out. Okay. Be in a state of peace internal despite all that passes. You, by doing this, are heralding the next flame of humanity through your reaction, by bridging this gap and opening, right? By creating, the bridge is really a way for these emotions, these feelings, this experience of what it is to be human in the past, how it has been so conflicted, so much darkness, so much suffering. How do we get that out? How do we release it? There's no way but through, right? It has to go through us. To be one with all things, you must open yourselves to each other. And this is the means. So to be one with all things, it means we have to open ourselves to our darkest dark, our darkest shadows, and we have to be the portal to process that energy. Okay. You're saying it is the dark unconsciousness that is within us because we are so good at looking away. Yes, yes, yes. That is right. We are so good at looking away. It's so easy to stay in our happy place. I want to stay in my happy place too. Sorry. But I know why. I get it. I get why this is. And there is something amazing about processing something and letting it go. And then when you do, you look back and you try to find that in yourself, and it's just not there anymore. And that is so insanely liberating. And we're doing this. Like, once we release this stuff, imagine it never happening again. Wow. Dark and light are complementary of each other, not opposite. You cannot have one without the other. Yes, that's right. We have to process it. We have to see it. We can't deny it. Probably needs drastic ways to heal that. Yeah. And then, Anne, thank you for being brave and sharing. Thank you so much. You guys know that these are not my favorite messages to share. So I appreciate you guys being supportive and being here with me and sharing this with me, because it is a lot. It's a lot. But remember what they said, so important in that earlier passage about that they are not worried, that the angels are not worried, and that we did not miss a bus. We did not miss our trip off planet. Like, this is it. This is why we came, the process through, and we will get to a place that's so much better. And then it's nothing but up, right? Then we have so much to gain. So our job, I think they said very clearly, be present, allow, release our expectations, and be the portal, be the bridge for this energy. Witness it and let us move through us without attachment, without story, without judgment. And allow our humanity and ourselves to release our karma. All right, you guys. Sending you so much love. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Many of you get to have a long weekend this weekend, so I hope it's a good one. And I will see you guys next Friday live. Bye, you guys.